Alright, so we're gonna keep moving. I know everyone should have this graph piece of paper. We're not gonna do this right now. If we have time today, we will, but if not, it's not a big deal. So just make sure you're turned to the next left page. Alright, stand up when you have this copy done. You're gonna need a highlighter, crayon, marker, color pencil, whatever you wanna use to highlight some things. Alright, so the main idea of today is I can plot polygons on the coordinate plane when I have the coordinates for the vertices. This is something that you are going to have to know how to do. I believe there was a question or two on the benchmark that we just took where you had to find like the last vertice of the shape. Isn't there a question or two like that on there? I think. So this is going to be something that is good for you guys to know and understand. All right, so we have a few fill in the blanks, and then we're going to do a practice, and then we're going to move it to our lesson today. So number one, it says plot the ordered pair. And the ordered pair is what? What is the ordered pair? Your hand up. For the coordinate grid? So your ordered pair looks like this. What goes first? The X or the Y? Uh-huh. And then what goes second? The Y. All right, perfect. All right. They are the vertices of the polygon. Now, what is a vertex, or this is the plural, but what is a vertice? Or the vertex, what is that? Which is also like, really like layman terms, like if we're looking for a square and I say this is the vertice of the square, like what, and it has 4 of them, what do you think that would be? Not the sides, because we don't plot sides on our grid. The what? Right, so like the corners or the I like dots. Dots slash corners. And just make sure that you highlight vertices of the polygons. So ultimately, when we plot our points, we're making up shapes. Now, the shapes that we're going to make up could be lots of different ones. It's not going to be strictly like triangles, rectangles, squares. But with that being said, if it's asking for the area, it's only going to be a triangle, rectangle, or a square that we're going to be plotting or trying to figure out. All right, so number 2, often there will be questions related to the polygon. Find the perimeter or area and find the length of a side. So what is the definition of the perimeter? It's the definition of the perimeter. Lily?
Basically, how big is the outside of it?
So do we add or multiply?
Add.
So add up the outside numbers. Okay, and then what about area? What is the area? Kaya?
The inside of the shape.
Do we multiply or add? So multiply 2 numbers outside to find inside. Not always the case, but when we're dealing with rectangle squares, we use this 2 on the outside. What happens when we're doing a triangle? What do we have to do? What do we have to do when we're doing a triangle? Delilah?
Divide by 2.
Yeah. So you find your base and your height, and then you divide by 2. All right. Now we are going to practice. And obviously, if you only see 3 points, what shape are we going to have? We're going to have a triangle, right? So when we are plotting these points, which direction do we always go first? Which direction do we always go first? Camden?
The x coordinate.
Which is which direction?
Horizontal.
Which is
Left
which?
or right.
Left or right. Okay? So you're always going left or right first. Then we're always going what? Levi. Up or down. All right, now I know these numbers on this grid are really hard to read. So just be careful when you're plotting your point. So the first point that we're going to plot is -4, -3. So I'm going to start in 0. Why do I always start right here in the middle? I need someone other than Miss Taylor. I'm so glad y'all are awake this morning. But, Emma.
Because that you hop away from 0 however many times.
Why do we start in the middle? Like, why do we start right there? What is the middle of our grid? Zoe? The origin. And we always start at the origin, no matter what, right? Always. All right, so we're going -4. So I'm going to go 4 to the left. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go -3, which is down. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put my dot right there, and I'm going to label that A. So it's 4 to the left, down 3. And then just put an A next to that one. All right, the next one is B. So I'm going 6, -3. So someone tell me how to get to B. How do we get to B? Kylie.
You go to the right 6 and then you go down 3.
All right. And that is B. Okay, and then for C, I'm going 1, 5. So someone tell me how to get to 1, 5. Noah.
You go to the right 1
Okay.
and then up 5.
All right, so at this point, I want you to go ahead and connect your dots. So obviously, yes, we did make a triangle, which we knew we were going to make because we only had how many dots again? We only had 3. All right, so now we gotta go way back, like, to the beginning of the year. We have to find the area of this figure, so what's the formula for the area of the triangle? So it's taking it way, way, way back. I love that some people are looking at the board, that is why it is there for you to look at. Noah. Yes. So area equals base times height divided by 2. Alright, so what is our base? Well, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because we have to count these boxes, which sometimes is really easy and sometimes is really hard, but you have to be careful. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my base is 10. Now, how do I figure out my height? Leo, focus, baby. How do I figure out my height?
You would start from C and count down.
So I'm gonna start from this point and I'm gonna count down. So then I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I identify my height with this dotted or dashed line, okay? Because that tells me that it's my height. Well, how else do I know that this is my height? What's the rule? What do they have to be? Your height and your base have to be what?
Not slanted.
Not slanted. There's a special word, starts with a P.
Oh,
That's easy.
Remember, William?
No.
No? Someone other than this group right here? Someone other than Emma? Alright, Zoe. Equal? No, not equal. Starts with a P. Starts with a P. It makes this line, technically.
oh wait,
I know you know it. I don't want to call on you. I know you know it. I want to call on you. What is it? Starts with P. It's obviously not parallel, so it's got to be what? Toy?
perpendicular.
Yes, you've got to form that perpendicular line between your base and your height. Okay? Alright, so now we know our base. So we're going to do 10 times 8 divided by 2, and this just becomes an order of operation problem. So what is 10 times 8? Gemma? 80. And then I'm going to divide that by 2, and my area for this shape is what? What's 80 divided by 2? William?
80 divided by 2 is 40.
Alright, so we have 40 units squared. Alright, so that's kind of the theme of what we're doing today. So just keep this piece of paper out. You don't have to put it away. We're going to come back to the summary later, once we've gone through our lesson, because the summary is actually going to be your homework. It's the only homework you should have tonight. So if you did not get the title copied down, please copy down your title now to the next page. Let's go ahead and look at our lesson 15. So we're doing shapes on a number, or not a number, sorry. Shapes on a coordinate grid. Alright, and it says, let's use a coordinate plane to solve problems and puzzles. Alright, so for 15.1, what it's telling you to do is you have to draw a figure in the coordinate plane with at least 3. So everyone highlight at least 3 of the following properties. Alright, does that mean you can do less than 3? You cannot. Can you do 3? Can you do more than 3? Alright, so you gotta have at least 3 of these. 6 vertices, 1 pair of parallel sides, at least 1 right angle, which remember, that is a right angle. Parallel sides is where they never meet. And then 2 sides with the same point. Alright, and then it says, is your figure a polygon? Explain how you know. So you're gonna get about, I'm gonna start with 7 minutes, because I want you to take your time and I want you to really do a good job with this. If we need a little bit more time after that 7 minutes, I will give it to you. Okay, but not too much more time. And then we're gonna just share some of our shapes, and just make sure we identify all of our criteria, the 6 vertices, the parallel lines, the 1 right angle, and the 2 sides are the same length. Okay, any questions with what you're doing? You're working independently right now. 7 minutes, go. If you do finish before the time is up, you may stand up. Make sure you have all the criteria that you picked. I have one question that is partially wrong, but other than that, that's all I want. you guys answer number 2? So that's the answer. Draw your lines, so you can actually see your shape. Alright, go ahead and have a seat. So I know that some of you guys are finishing up number 2, which is fine. Do I have a volunteer who would like to just come up and show their shape and then just explain like which ones of the criteria that they picked? Thank you, Delilah, for volunteering. Oh, yeah, thank you. You had a good shape. I liked it. Come on.
I gotta put it on you.
Yeah, I'll put it on. Alright, so which ones did you, criteria-wise, did you pick?
I mean, I drew a trapezoid, so I picked one pair of,
Parallel.
yeah, sides.
Alright, so which ones are your parallel sides?
The one, not like the ones that are going sideways, but like the top and bottom.
Yep, top and bottom are your parallel sides. Alright, what else did you pick?
At least one right angle.
Alright, where is your right angle? Or either one of your right angles? You just point to it.
It's right here.
That's not your right angle.
It's not?
No, right angle makes
It's the one on the other
makes an
side.
L.
Oh yeah, I knew that. It's the other side. It's that. It's okay.
That one.
Yeah, it's this one. Something like that.
Yes.
And then I picked two sides of the same length.
Alright, so which two have the same length?
See, it's a little sloppy, but it would have been the two sides, but kind of got messed up because I had to redraw it. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's alright. Okay, thank you. Well, and you were writing yes because, how do you know it's polygon? Is it open or closed?
It's closed.
There you go, that's why. I mean, that's one reason, right? A polygon has to be what? Has to be a closed shape. Alright, thank you, Delilah, for volunteering, I appreciate it. Isaac, over there for yours.
Mine is a rectangle.
Okay, so what were the criteria that you did?
One pair of parallel sides.
Okay, where are those?
Right here. And there.
Okay, do you have other parallel lines on yours?
Yeah, right here. There.
Perfect. Alright, what else did you pick?
I have at least one right angle and two sides are the same length.
Okay, so where's your right angle? Any one of them?
There.
Okay, and then your two sides are the same length.
Yeah.
Perfect. Alright, and why do you know it's a polygon?
Well, because it's a shape on a polynomial plane.
That's not necessarily true. Why do we know his is a polygon though, guys? Krishana.
It's a close shape.
Alright, what else is another criteria for a polygon? Levi,
There's two pairs of
Huh.
parallel sides.
I can't read what.
It has two pairs of parallel sides.
So for his, it's got the two parallel sides. Okay, that works. All right, thank you, sir. Can I get one more volunteer that I don't have to volunteer you to go, other than Lily? William, thank you, appreciate you.
So, there.
So what was your
Okay.
criteria?
I picked all four.
Nice, okay.
I have 6 vertices right here, 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 and these two here.
Perfect.
And then I have 2 pairs of parallel sides, 2 here and 2 up top.
Perfect.
And then I have 2 right angles right here, these corners,
Perfect.
and then I have the 2 sides that are the same length.
Okay, awesome. And then you picked, or you said it was a polygon because it was a rose shape as well.
Yeah, I forgot what polygon was supposed
Oh,
to be.
Lord.
It's been a while, okay?
Yeah. Can a polygon have curved sides? No, it's got straight lines, right?
Yeah.
Cannot be curved. Alright, you're good. Thank you. Alright, so I know it's a little terrifying because you did have to come up here and speak to your peers, but I do appreciate you guys. And hopefully you saw a couple different shapes that still met the criteria. So that's just kind of our warm-up. Slide over to plotting polygons. So, squirrel, sorry. You are going to need to have 4 colors. And I'd prefer either color pencil pens or the skinny markers. I do not want crayons at all, because you're not going to be able to see your shapes. Question. Alright, so it says here are the coordinates for 4 polygons. Plot them on the coordinate plane, connect the points in the order that they are listed, and label each polygon as its letter name. So we are going to do 2 of these together, and then you guys are going to do 2 as a group. So we're going to do the first one, polygon A, and you'll notice it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Technically, the first plot and the second plot, or I'm sorry, the first plot and the last plot are the same point. Okay, so you'll end where you start. Alright, so for our first point, it's negative 7, 4. So someone tell me real quick, what do you notice about your graph before we start plotting? What do you notice about your graph? Yasmin. It goes up by 2, so we have to be really careful, guys. It goes up by 2s. Alright, so just keep that in mind. Now, our points are going to be with our pencil. Once we're confident and we're sure that our polygon is correct, then we're going to connect it with our color. Okay, so start with your pencil first. Alright, so someone raise your hand and tell me how to get to negative 7, 4. Alright, Delilah?
Ow.
Watch it.
7 said that.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Alright.
And then you go up 4.
Okay. So that is our first point. I'm going to check it off. Alright, the next one is negative 8, 5. Negative 8, 5. Someone tell me how to get there. Camden.
You go to the left 8 times,
Okay.
and then up 5 times.
Okay. Alright, the next one is negative 8, 6. Negative 8, 6. Kylie.
You go to the left to negative 8 and then go up to 6.
Okay. Alright, the next one is negative 7, 7. Negative 7, 7. Come on, guys. This is not. Just tell me how to go. That's all I'm asking. Alright, Troy.
Go 7 left
Okay.
and then 7 up.
Alright. The next one is negative 5, 7. Negative 5, 7. Levi.
You go off to the left and then 7 up.
Okay. The next one is negative 5, 5. Do I get to negative 5, 5? William, how do I get there?
Go to the left 5,
Okay.
and then go up 5.
Okay. And then our last point is going to be negative 7, 4, which is where we started. So now, pick a color. Any color that you want. And you're going to connect the dots in the direction that we started. We're gonna label this A, and then just lightly shade it in. Okay, so what you'll notice is that these are not necessarily going to be those pretty squares, triangles, rectangles, right? Might be a little bit of a crazy shape that you clearly cannot read what letter that is. So sorry, y'all. Should have thought that one through. All right, the next one that we are going to do is going to be C. Okay? No, we're not gonna do C, I lied. Just kidding. We're gonna do B, polygon B. All right, so negative or positive 4, 3. So start, go to the right 4, up 3. So that's our first point. All right, next person. How do I go to 3, 3? Kaya.
You go over to the right 3 and then you go up 3.
Okay, so that's point number 2. All right, what about point number 3? 2, 2. 2, 2. Olivia.
Go to the right twice and go up twice.
Okay. Next one is 2, 1. 2, 1. Isaac, come out and get to 2, 1.
Go over to the right twice and go up once.
Perfect. All right, the next one is 3, 0. 3, 0. How do I get there? Troy.
You go to the right 3 times.
And then what?
You don't go over because
Okay, because my y is a what?
it's 0.
Perfect. All right, the next one is 4, 0. 4, 0. Kyra, how do I get to 4, 0?
Go to the right 4 times.
Okay, do I go up at all?
No.
Perfect. All right, how do I get to 5, 1? 5, 1. Elisa.
Go to the right 5 times.
Perfect. 5, 2. How do I get to 5, 2? Zoe. Okay, and then our last one is obviously 4, 3. So again, we start at 4, 3 and we connect our dots. And this is polygon B, and then just shade it in. Alright, so we have done polygon A and polygon B together. As a group, you guys are doing polygon C and polygon D. When you are done, stand up for me. Go.
No, technically, a rectangle is a square.
Actually, yeah, rectangle is a square.
Oh, like right.
No. Rectangle is a square.
It's a shape.
Yeah, guys.
Wait, it's on no, I don't want this. You just ruined it. Now,
Yeah, you do really
everything. This is a weird shape. How is this shape even hard? That must up this shape. Oh, I see. It's like a triangle. Yeah, it's like a triangle. It's not triangles.
Stand up when you're finished. About 30 more seconds, guys. Y'all should not be standing up if she's not standing up. You're supposed to work together. It blows my mind that if you work together, you should all have the same shape. But as I'm walking around, I see groups with people who have different shapes. I don't understand. All right, let's go ahead and go over this. So, polygon C, you got what kind of shape? What kind of shape did you guys produce? Christiana. Square, yes. Because last time I checked, if all the sides are the same, it is a square. All right, now, polygon D was interesting. That is for sure. You should have this shape for polygon D. Some of you guys have the shape far out to the left, and I'm not sure why. But for the most part, y'all, this is the shape you should. It's almost like a house, but one side is from this point to this point, it's a little bit more at a slant.
It's a whole plate.
Huh?
It's a whole plate.
No, it's a little bit uneven. It's not exactly symmetric on it. Like the bottom half is not a almost rectangle. But it's a similar shape, yeah. All right, so please adjust that. Make sure you have it correct. Alright, go ahead, get this glued into your notebook when you are done. Get the other paper glued into your notebook when you are done. You have your cool down that I just passed out to you guys. Once you get that done, you need to turn it into the first period then, and then you're working on a match of math. Okay? Any questions with what you're doing for the remainder of the day? Yes, sir.
What's it gonna do aside?
Oh, yes, thank you, that's why I keep you guys around. Alright, your summary, down here at the bottom. This is your homework for today. So once you're done with your cool down, if you want to just go ahead, quickly do your summary, so you have no homework for tonight. And just make sure that you discuss in your summary, it needs to be 3 to 4 sentences. About what you learned today. Okay, obviously I don't want you to write down where I wrote it, write it to the side. But again, this is your homework, and I will leave this up on the screen for you guys to see. Again, it's the order in which you're doing is your cool down. Then if you want to do your homework in class, you can do that, and then you're doing a match of math. Okay? Questions? All right, go ahead and get started.